The sound hit first, not wind, screaming, a deafening roar that turned the air itself into a weapon. At 4:47 a.m., January 28th, New York City stopped existing. Visibility, 0. Temperature -30 and dropping. Wind speed, 95 miles per hour, with gusts exceeding 120. This wasn't a blizzard. This was atmospheric violence on a scale meteorologists called physically impossible for this latitude. Within 12 minutes, glass began to shatter. Not from impact, from the cold itself. Thermal shock turned windows into grenades. The city's skin was tearing apart. It wasn't just a storm, it was a sentence. At 5:03 a.m., Consolidated Edison's nightmare scenario began. Ice accumulation on power lines reached critical mass, not in inches, but in feet. Transmission towers designed for half-inch ice loads were bearing 10 inches. 15, 20. The first tower fell in Queens, then another, then 17 simultaneously across the 5 boroughs. By 5:40 a.m., 7.2 million people lost power. Not rolling blackouts, complete, systemic failure. But the cold wasn't the real enemy. Something else was happening beneath the streets. New York's circulatory system runs below ground. 6,800 miles of water mains. Steam pipes from a century ago. All of it designed for winter. None of it designed for this. When water freezes, it expands by 9%. 9% doesn't sound catastrophic until you're talking about cast iron pipes installed in 1904, carrying 1.3 billion gallons per day, now turning into ice bombs. At 7:52 a.m., the first main ruptured under Lexington Avenue, then 7th, then Broadway. The subway system, lifeline for 5.5 million daily riders, became a 665-mile ice cavern in under 2 hours. Emergency services stopped responding. Not because they gave up, because physics made it impossible. Snow accumulation rate, 8 inches per hour. Plows buried themselves. Fire trucks couldn't reach fires. By hour 6, New York faced a problem no engineer had predicted. Snow weighs approximately 20 pounds per cubic foot when fresh. This wasn't fresh. This was compacting under its own weight. 40, 50, 60 pounds per cubic foot. Modern buildings are designed for 30 pounds per square foot. By 11 a.m., roofs across Manhattan were bearing 180. The first collapse killed 17 people in a Tribeca warehouse. They never heard it coming. Just compression. Then silence. Then another collapse. And another. 43 structural failures in 90 minutes. But the bridges, engineered masterpieces. Those were showing the real horror. The Brooklyn Bridge's cables were designed to hold 18,700 tons. The ice added 4,000, then 6,000. At 2:34 p.m., the center span dropped 14 feet. The vehicles still trapped on it began sliding toward the middle. A gravity well made of ice and steel. The Manhattan Bridge, the Williamsburg, the Queensboro, all showing identical stress patterns. New York's arteries were becoming death traps. Times Square, the place that never goes dark, buried under 23 feet of snow. The neon still pulsed beneath the ice, weak, failing like a dying heartbeat. From above, Manhattan was unrecognizable. No streets, no buildings, just topography. Central Park's trees, some over a century old, snapped like matchsticks. Pop, pop, pop. Inside Grand Central Terminal, the temperature hit -18. The concourse became a cathedral of ice, the Statue of Liberty. Only her torch remained visible. Those trapped in high rises couldn't see the ground, couldn't see the sky, just white, infinite, pressing against every window. One World Trade Center began to sway, designed for wind, for earthquakes, not for asymmetric ice loading crushing one side. Those inside felt it, a slow, rhythmic oscillation. At 8:47 p.m., evacuation became impossible. Stairwells frozen shut, elevators dead. The storm wasn't just attacking the surface anymore. It was going deep. By midnight, New York was dark, truly dark. No streetlights, no buildings, no cars. The official count wouldn't come for weeks, but in that darkness, the city held 6,400 souls who simply stopped, froze, mid-step, mid-breath. A mother shielding two children, a businessman at a crosswalk, briefcase still in hand. And then, at 1:16 a.m., the wind stopped. Dawn broke over a planet that used to be New York. The temperature rose, -22, -15, -8. What remained wasn't destruction. It was transformation. 8 million people gone, evacuated, frozen, or buried. The largest city in America erased in 24 hours. The subways would take 3 years to repair. Some sections were simply sealed. Frozen tombs beneath the streets. The Brooklyn Bridge collapsed at 3:40 a.m. No one was on it. It just let go. Some structures survived. The Empire State Building, the Chrysler, monoliths that refused to break. The storm killed 11,847 people directly. Economic damage, $2.7 trillion. But the number that haunted engineers wasn't casualties, it was probability. 1 in 847 million. It wasn't supposed to be possible. The models said no. The physics said no. But nature doesn't negotiate with models. On January 28th, humanity learned what it forgot, somewhere between skyscrapers and smartphones. We are not permanent. We are not in control. We are guests. The storm from this simulation was based on real atmospheric models. In 2034, similar conditions are predicted to have a 12% probability. We have 9 years,